Peace and blessings, family. Sister Ajali, I am not here for long. But Dr. Z let me know that Polight, I don't like to call him brother because he is not. He's so not our brother in any way, shape, or form. Um, but he has been sentenced to 7 years in prison. I'm probably not the first person showing up with this information because I'm always doing the things that need to be done, and I don't always pay. Just I'm not a hawk watching. I've gotten away and want to stay away from ambulance chasing, but I'm so grateful for you who do keep abreast of what's going on and put it before our family, because we are in enemy territory. It's our territory, but they've made it an enemy camp. And thereby we have to pay the strictest bit of attention. And that's the reason why I am coming in here. Also, I got to get my new editing software. I got to figure out how to work it. So I would have done this as a share and then edit it all together so that you don't have to hear me humming and hawing all the daggone time. But I wanted to speak on Brother Polight specifically because of the massive distraction that I could just not instantly when I first came to social media, because I love us. I'm always going to want to give the benefit of the doubt to us. However, there's certain behavior that's just illogical. And when I ran across Polight, the first time that I had questions about him was when I saw him with his two wives. Now, that in and of itself shouldn't make someone, just make a overall determination, but it started making me ask questions. There's bunches of people up here who, seeing what they do, they make me ask questions about their intentions towards us. And then I also heard him, speak disparagingly against those who speak about the devil. And he was, making it seem as if when we say that, we mean it like a Hollywood movie character with horns or a cartoon, and not that it's the most adequate description for a whole people, just three-dimensional right here today, people who have nothing but wrongdoing in their intentions. And then the whole just the way he was speaking when he had the Jewish rabbi bow down to him from a debate, and he was always connected with Sonetta, where it's just an endless series of debates constantly, as if we're all enemies to each other and we're not capable of having rational conversations. That made no sense to me. Most of the people that I started with, who I always was like, wow, that person is just like capital, upstanding, wonderful. I'm still connected with all them people, whether we, do collabs or not. We're not. The people I respect the most, they don't really do the YouTube social media thing. When you listen to them, they don't sound phony. They don't use all these, bells and whistles and fake explosion sounds in the background. They just say what they need to say, and then they get back to whatever it was that they do in their real life. That's just real folks. I admire them so much. And they have proven through the years to be upstanding. You could just hear it in the timbre of their voice and the passion and the lack of contempt and derision for you and me. When I hear somebody and they got that little, I'm bothering to spend time with you kind of tonality, I know something's wrong. And there's a behavioral pathology that goes along with, because that's a sign of ill thinking that got started decades back. Because I know we've all met, children in our classrooms or whatever, just like jerks. And then we see them maybe 30 years later, and ta-da, a lot of them are still jerks. That is an inability to comprehensively analyze reality around you and to have compassion for those around you so that your feelings, your emotions are sutured to your actions, where you just could never be part of the Scampsters Union. You could never just lie and call your people what Polight called our children once niglets. I was so horrified. I did a share just on that one alone. Right. And so this is brother Ali, who he has the ARNA. It's the medical national. I don't want to explain ARNA because Dr. Z could explain it better, but I really appreciate that they have established what all of these other Black organizations should have done by now, our own institutions, to address our unique melanated issues living in this enemy, this prisoner of war camp. We are a prisoner of war nation. So I really appreciate what he's doing, and his analysis on this is just, it's always been on point. So I want to read what he says here. Michael Nowak, aka Brother Polight, the con man extraordinaire of y'all conscious community. My protest here is the fact that Stephen Biko came up with the mindset of consciousness, and Polight, in my firm conclusion, is an agent. He's always been an agent, in my conclusion. All right. So they use persons like Polight in order to just tar and feather the whole idea of consciousness. Because the wonderful thing about naming a movement is it then, it's like when you go to one of these Western doctors and they lie, right? But they'll just give you a name about whatever conditions you're suffering from. And it suddenly gives you this feeling like, oh, good. I feel so much better knowing that this is something that I'm not all by myself with. And so I resent the fact that, it's like pro-Black. When I came here, I was like, what the heck is wrong with being pro-Black? That makes no daggone sense not to be. Right? I know that it's more nuanced. I accept that. I've learned from you. I've learned from oh my goodness, I've learned from Dr. Z so much. I've learned from all of us that there's more to this. And yes, we can't just, start a nation and call it Black. Okay? But Black is not a color. It's a tool of creation. It is the creation of science. It is everything. So I don't like when they try to bash our ways of describing ourselves so that we can build better, right? Build Black better. So when, if somebody were to invade France, they would change the name so that the French people would no longer feel as if they were in control of their society. So I eschew completely just, I divorce myself from all those folks who are trying to keep us from defining ourselves. And then I'm not mad at Dr. Ali. No, I'm not. I'm just saying, for me, as I say, we should be able to have conversations because we have been so severely traumatized. But anyway, let me read this and not interrupt myself. Okay. So he pleaded guilty to child rape, aggravated assault, sentenced to 7 years, 10 years probation, 25,000 in restitution. His name gonna be Michelle Nowak when he gets out, if he survives. With these operatives out here, sometimes I think that they'll just do anything because they are beholden to the very devil that he wanted to make light of. But they are, because once you sign on board with these folks, if they need to, they will take you out. And so even if he doesn't drop the soap in the bathroom and he manages to survive all of these things that a lot of brothers on lockdown have let me know, we don't get into that. Okay, there's brothers out there that they put out the narrative, this is what's definitely going to happen. But with Polight, even if it doesn't happen with him, he might come out and start saying like they're trying to reveal Obama being gay, like we who did that investigation didn't know he already was, and that sooner or later they were going to expose him, because they're trying to push a genocidal sexual deviancy on black us, or make us the poster children of it. Polight may go along with all of that, because that is the danger. It's worse than prison. He's put himself in danger with these devil controllers, these soulless elites who are fully aware of his existence. They have a whole list. But anyway, keep it going. I interrupted myself. Oh no, I got to the end of this one. So let me go on over here. Where, brother, this is godbody.og. And I'll put a link to this in the chat room if there's anybody in the chat room. But he says, my prayers to the young lady. Truly, that is so very right. She's only 14 years old. Oh my goodness, that's crazy. My prayers to that young lady who suffered horrific treatment. My last words to Polight before I debated him were, you're scamming and two-stepping going to cost you your freedom. I told everyone back in 2012 he was just like his teacher, Dr. York. Even worse, this idiot put his family in harm's way, an innocent 14-year-old, and his own freedom. Now, how intelligent is he? I keep telling y'all, these gift the gab scammers' day was done. Now take y'all in there with grown men who never coming home, and keep that same energy. For all the conscious in the shadows who protected him for years. And then he goes over the list of folks that I ain't got no complaints over, even though some of them I love. It's just that we're in an enemy camp. You can't be compromising and acting like it's anything other than, if you are about wellness, you got to be like Dr. Africa, 100%. Because he stated that the only healing we're going to get is by fully removing ourselves from the mind, the toxic mind that white people have put into our heads. It's that simple, right? So there's folks, I'm not going to say which one particularly, that I love, but they don't go far enough. They just don't. And some of them have just gone over the edge. But, I ain't mad at him for putting none of that out. Ali will just say what he needs to say. And I respect and admire that, because that's what actualized black men have to do while we are in this enemy camp, even after that, just to protect our freedom. All right. So y'all knew the rumors, the scamming, the child sex allegations, but for money. He's talking about all these folks up here. Y'all kept association for money. Now go and apologize for lifting up a dusty snake. That energy and injury falling right in y'all metaphysical laps now. And we sprinkling the rosemary salt and blood in every corner. Clock is ticking. Now, there's one brother the debate is good. Okay. And it's true about Dr. York, but there was someone, you'll have to go and read it yourself, but there was someone going over Polight's origins, which is with Dr. York. Dr. York was brought up and admitted to 73 charges of child sexual molestation. There was so much going on with his community that was just, it's just documented. All right. you got to be careful out here. And they also are just, let me come on over to, if there's anybody in the chat right now, might not be. Let's see, right over here and reload. Whoop, that didn't go where I wanted it to go. Right there. There we go. Okay. Let me say greetings to your family. Nope, no, thank you. Not right now. I appreciate you. Okay, cool. Peace, Sister Nikki Justice on the run. Good afternoon, Queen. How you doing? And beloved Aurora Elve. Grand afternoon indeed. Let me pop this out here and expand it. Oh, let me get the link for that, because that is an excellent conversation going on right there, without a doubt. If you have an Instagram account, you got to go read and get the information, the knowledge. Hold on a sec. Let's see. Oh, right. I know what I do. Like that. There. No, that won't work. Okay, hold on. There we go. All right. That's what I need. And let me put that link right there so you can read the conversation. That's a beautiful thing. Yeah, there's so many agents, and it's on purpose. It's with a purpose. It's not random. It's not without a long-term strategy. I've seen how they'll set stuff up. These people, they play chess. Allah doesn't play at all, but they play chess, not checkers. And so they will juxtaposition, that's the word, different strategies, like the Cynthia G's, where she came out the bat as super pro-black, just ridiculously pro-black. Not that you can't be black enough, in my estimation, but she was just, it was one of them hints where, okay, I could get into the evil abonoids. Yeah, sure, because when you are the rape victim, of course you want to cuss out the rapists, okay? It doesn't make you the rapist. But at the same time, it was just so gregarious, and she came to fame, and she came up on what's his name again? I haven't talked about this dude in so long, I can't even remember him. Boyce Watkins. She came up on Boyce Watkins channel. I used to love Boyce Watkins, but then once again, little things started happening where I was like, especially when he started talking to Cleo Monago and saying, "Oh, you're so brave." I was like, what is he pushing this super homosexual for, as if he's like the next Malcolm X? That made no damn sense. And that's when I started saying something right here. And then he had a Jewish lady get up on there, and she was telling us about ourselves. I said, oh, no, you don't. I can see the writing on the wall there. Well, Cynthia G came from that. The new Fly Nubian Queens came from that, including the incredible statement. I can't remember the name, the chick who has the super mega weave. I'm not mad at sisters who you don't know how beautiful your natural hair is. When you figure it out, I hope you haven't wasted your whole lifetime trying to imitate some crap out there, okay? Where there ain't nothing heightened, nothing elevated about what white people or non-black people got. When you look at them and you study them, you are just like, oh, thank you so much, Allah, the Most High, Yah, use the name you need, for not making me anything but black. And so, this one woman was coming out saying, having a weave makes you closer to God. I was shocked. I was shocked that she could wrap her lips around that. Right now, and she's now lost a significant amount of weight. She looks very lovely. She's a beautiful Vicky Dillard. I just remembered her name. She's a beautiful woman, beautiful young lady. But at the same time, I looked, and she's like wearing this clothing now that's just like, you're supposed to be a Muslim woman, and you walking around like that? That says, like I said at the very beginning, in case you didn't hear it, your thinking is broken. To have, we all got to learn more as we get older. But at the same time, to just make that conclusion, and you sit down and you've read the Quran and you understand the importance of community where men are fortified and inspired to fight for our people rather than just to have quickies here and there, right? Because that is the Most High made our bodies to be tantalizing. Duh. I got a body. Oh, there's like how many millions of other women who have bodies too? What's that big deal? If I want to know that I am special and cherished and honored, I want to be for my mind, for my soul, for who I am as a person. And I try to keep it all together so that I can look good to Dr. Z, because I treasure him. And I just look and I'm like, ooh, that's some man there. Right. And so I value him and I value myself. I couldn't exercise and eat right just for him. I have to do it for me. That's the first and primary reason. But I'm just saying, we are all dependent on each other. This Western individualism, that's what creates the mind of a Polight, where he's all about the Benjamins, all about just getting his, and he don't care even to rape his 14-year-old stepdaughter. Good Lord. With you hard up, what can you possibly have in common with a 14-year-old so you can have a conversation? That's just some baphometic, just impulse behavior. And that's not a grown-up. You don't, when you get to be a grown-up, I said it before and I recognize that anything you do that involves effort has such an incredible satisfaction that comes on the other side of that. And so this Insta society has given us all an addiction to spontaneous gratification. If we can't get that gratification right now, right here, then, oh my goodness, I'm a failure. And that's not true. When you reach an advanced age, to be able to look back at your life and know through every difficult moment you did the best that you could so you can now consider yourself an honorable person. Oh my goodness, what a satisfaction. What an incredible satisfaction, rather than just having a string of regrets. And we all have done stuff that, we're not so proud of. But as long as you learn and you do better, that's wonderful. Right? Well, we're connected to one another. So in operating with each other as a woman, I recognize my duty to our people and to the brothers that I am in a committed relationship with one man. And so I'm not going to walk around or present myself as if I'm looking for another one, because I'm satisfied. I'm happy at home, number one. But also, if I were single, I would not want a man who would just be given into his impulses so that he would, think that jiggling stuff is the sign of a good possible relationship. Most men at this day, most black men now, a lot of them are saying very publicly on social media, that's not what they want. They miss righteous, upstanding sisters because it gives them something to fight for, gives them something to work hard for. That's the devil coming in, planting all these agents. And it's such a fail that he's got all his actresses and these models. Like I saw Naomi Campbell wearing one of them nipple revealing shirts, dresses. It's your friggin' sleepwear. It's your pajamas. It's not clothing. There's no way you can make the nature of men different so that you can justify walking out there in a way that puts the average woman in grave danger. For the fools out there who listen to somebody like Andrew Tate and think it's okay to objectify women as if they're just a thing, right? And so for Polight to have done that to that young girl, that is not a leader in any way. And we all, at this point in time, we pretty much all know, all right, that he just got some serious problems. So that's all I want to say is these dudes are distractions. We need to discuss them. But what I come to share, I'm going to do my best not to sound humble right now, is the most important component of defeating this devil, which is exposing man-made radiation. I don't give a damn what they put in front of us. That stuff is in our food. And it kills on a species basis. It's in your food. And nobody but me is talking about it. Not because everybody's an agent. No. But definitively, we have human nature that makes us follow trends, like Polight getting her 7 years, right? So that we think that's the thing. We got to talk about that. I'm here talking about that. But I'm never going to not showcase the fact that this is some bull crap here. This is some bull crap. And that reminds me, I just want to state, I am very upset with Mike Tyson that he had what is touted to be Michael Jackson's son, like he's his biological son, Prince Jackson. That ain't nothing but a orchestrated attack against our sanity, because there is no way DNA from Michael Jackson would produce Prince Jackson, right? If you want to say he's his son because he was adopted, okay. But there's this thing out there that, that's his seed. Hell no. That's a theft. And it was easy to steal from Michael Jackson because he was so compromised. He was a celebrity, number one, right? He was a highly talented one. But he had been broken in many different ways. And when you add money to all of that, just like with Mike Tyson, there's no oftentimes anybody who's going to come up to you and tell you you lost your daggone mind. Right. So I was upset to see Mike Tyson talking to that dude. And I understand wouldn't say to him, come on now, you know you're not Michael Jackson's biological son. Okay, so I'm just saying they're hitting us with everything. They got a drag queen dude who was just hired as a principal of a school. I think it's in Minnesota, and it's a diverse school at that. And he had been arrested years back for having a cache of pedophile photos. This is orchestrated. There's no bigger distraction than Satan, and that they're using everything in the books they can to keep us from paying attention to the die-off of billions of non-human creatures who ain't getting no damn jab. And they're bringing that back to with mandates. At this point, I'm just like, you got your children in these public schools? I understand some people, you feel like economically you can't afford any better. I'm saying right now, the hood, there should be a waiting list to get into the worst places in the hood so that people could take their children out of these public schools, even if they have to have 2-3 families all up in one apartment, so that somebody could stay at home and teach all the youngins. These are evil people. They want you thinking what's happening is all about some jab, and no, the hell it's not. No, the hell it's not. Okay? They just are giving you a bait and switch. And that's what all this is, all right? All right. I love you, family. Let me get on out of here. I don't even know if I'm still broadcasting, but it is what it is. So, peace, beloved brother D. Oh, I didn't say greetings to everybody. Brother DA Sound Productions and Lee Blanco. Yeah, he does need way more, without a doubt. He should have been intelligent enough to know not to do that. And brother Nano John, afternoon, brother. And I think that's about it. Okay, let me get on out of here. And again, Sister Nikki Justice on the run and Adwoa El Boy. Peace, everybody. I never do this smoothly, so let's see. Oh, I know what I do. Right, that, like that. And then over here. And peace, everyone. I'll see you in, I don't know, like 5 days, because I just got back to writing my book. I took care of all my housework. Pretty much. I still have housework to do. But oh, it's so exciting. Peace. I love you. Straight Black family pride. Always. And we are forever.